Well, welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
And I'm your co-host, Faith McKinney, and producer, Faith McKinney.
Pleasure to host with you today.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. I'm so happy to be here, sitting in for Pastor Moore.
How's it feel?
Oh, it feels scary. It feels fun, exhilarating, all at the same time.
Yeah, he's on special assignment.
That's wonderful, because he's very special. He's a very special person.
He is, and this is the first time that we've had host sitting in for him.
I know, in 3.5 years.
Yeah, but thank you for the extraordinary job that you do.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. It's always my goal to help bring information to our people, our audience here in Central Indiana about things that they should know about.
Yeah, we're on a new frequency, as I understand it. More power, reaching out to more people.
Ooh, more power to the people, huh?
So, speaking of people, I want to thank our sponsors, Lee Castle and Crowley.
I want to thank Marion County Health Department and
Fervent Care, Child Care and Christian Academy.
Absolutely. And Martin University's Give-a-thon.
Coming up on December the 7th.
That's right.
1 to 5 p.m. broadcast live right here on WHMB TV 40. Challenging minds and changing lives. So please be sure you tune in for that.
It's going to be a fun time.
It is.
I can't wait.
I'll be there hosting.
I'll be there in the audience.
The whole team. We got a great team. We're going to be there.
That's right.
I want to encourage you to go to YouTube and look for WHMB TV 40 on YouTube and become a subscriber. Also, be sure to go to Facebook and like us on Facebook. We got a lot to share with you in this show, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, and we're joined today by Cassandra Anderson, Community Engagement Manager, K-12, K-12 Advocacy, and Brian Kelly, Area Development Director for the UNCF. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
So what's going on at the UNCF these days?
UNCF is celebrating our 75th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We have a lot going on in the state of Indiana, specifically. Not only helping raise funds for scholarships and supporting our HBCUs, but as Cassandra is in charge of K-12 advocacy and how do we help change the landscape for our students.
And so very important.
Yes.
And the great work that the UNCF has done and is doing. When is the event going to be taking place?
So our masked ball is December 7th at the JW Marriott downtown Indianapolis.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Yes, we'll have about 900 people in attendance, number of students, supporters, partners of ours, just really celebrating the body of work for UNCF here.
So you've been doing this for 75 years, and I know that there is a change in the landscape of students coming up here, 2024, where, a lot of students, there won't be that many students. How is your recruiting, or how's your outreach changing to meet the needs?
We stay focused on getting into the school districts themselves. We have a number of school superintendents that we work with to make sure we understand what the needs of the students are, that we can help prepare them for college. Our goal is to get students of color to and through college and into the workforce.
And so we also recognize that our goal is to get them to and through college. However, we recognize that students are not prepared on the K-12 space. And so that's where I come in. And we know that we have to improve our outcomes K-12 in order for our students to get through into college.
Yeah. So what is it like, how is that preparation for you? I mean, what are you seeing in the schools? What are some of the positives and what are some of the negatives?
So some of the disparities that we're seeing that our students spend less time in the classroom. We have teachers who don't have high expectations of our students as well. But some of the things that we're seeing on the positive side is that we know research shows when students have at least one teacher of color, then they are more inclined to go on to college, especially minority boys. When they have a male teacher of color, then they are more likely to attend college, having seen a role model. and aspire to be what they see.
Yeah, that's fascinating, Pastor Jackson. I'm sure that, being a pastor, you're the role model for a lot of young men. I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Yeah, and I remember my fourth grade teacher, Miss Rowe. She had a very big impact on my life in Muncie, Indiana. So there's a lot, and my grandson, he did very well last year, having a teacher of color. So there's a lot of truth to this. And how are you guys dealing with that and making sure that there are more teachers? And that's, of course, the law of the land, or at least in the state of Indiana, where we're supposed to have more teachers of color. How are you guys helping with that?
So we have partnered with Marian University, and we have started a series of community conversations where we are addressing building that pipeline of developing or increasing male minority teachers and administrators and just teachers of color in general. We just had a community conversation on September the 26th. We had about 50 people come out, and it was a really good turnout and a really good session because we were able to look at the problem, and the community was involved in developing solutions to increase in that pipeline. We're going to continue that series with them, so we're going to do one in the spring or two more in the spring. So from our perspective, we're engaged and involved in the community and how do we solve this problem. We recognize that, especially in the state of Indiana, I think as I've heard, 73% of teachers are white women. And so we definitely understand that there's an issue and that it needs to be addressed, not just from a local level, but from the state as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
So
Go ahead.
for the UNCF as a whole, are there certain areas that are addressing it and there's success that you've seen? And, what are some of the models that you're looking to for Indianapolis?
Sure. We do have some models that are out there across the country that we're looking at. Rochester School District is one that is working to attract teachers. I think from our standpoint, we need to get more students into college to become a teacher or to look towards administration as a career profession. Currently, right now, the state of Indiana only has one African-American man as a superintendent of schools across the state, and that's unfortunate to have that kind of a statistic. So there's things we definitely need to do to improve the model. At the community conversation, we talked about how do we help uplift and bring along those who are teachers right now to become principals. Principals become administrators at a higher level. So that's where we're focusing, and then working with our institutions across the country on how do we get more students into the teaching profession.
So what does that look like for Indiana? Are we bringing more people in? Are we just cultivating them here? What does that look like, and how can we help get the word out about the need for African American, especially male teachers here in Indianapolis?
I think it needs to be twofold. I think we need to attract talent to the state of Indiana, and I think we need to cultivate the talent that's already here. And so I know Marian University is doing an amazing job with doing that. I think their goal is to increase their enrollment when it comes to minority students, and they've done that each year. So the biggest thing is changing the narrative of the perception of the occupation overall, because education is not one of those fields where people are flocking to go into.
Right.
So how do we begin to change the conversation and the narrative to restore the honor to being a teacher? That's a part of the community conversation that we're going to do as well.
Yeah, teaching is a noble profession,
Yes.
and you really, to stress that and to get the word out about that. Are there any other partnerships that you're working with to do that?
So we've just partnered with Teach Plus. They just released a report that talks about minority teacher retention. And so they're going to come alongside of us, and we're going to host a community conversation about how to retain our teachers of color that we already currently have. So they're one of our partners moving forward that will be a part of moving that conversation and moving the needle forward as well.
And I think we can also rely and ask for our churches and our houses of worship to also get involved. They're directly and very intimately involved with the youth. I think they can make an impact on that profession as a whole to encourage the youth to look at that as a career path.
And you talk about some of the things that our parents and leaders can do to hold teachers accountable. What are some of the ideas that you all can share with us?
I would say show up, go to the schools, sit in on your child's classrooms and see how they are being instructed. You can also join the PTA, get involved, join the school board, Those are some things
Yeah.
locally that you could do as just an everyday citizen. From a leader standpoint, you can participate in the community conversations that we have. You can also do some blog writing for us as well to help elevate the voice and just shine light on what needs to change. UNCF, we've adopted our manifesto. I don't know, can I go over what our manifesto is real
Yeah.
quick? So we believe that all students should attend a quality school that offers a rigorous college preparatory curriculum and enables them to graduate at a college-ready level. We believe that free, safe, high-quality school options should be available and accessible to all students in every neighborhood. We also believe that our students should have effective teachers in each of their classes who guide them through challenging coursework and build them academically in their social skills. We also believe that students need to understand how to navigate critical decisions along that K through 16 journey, so they should be aware of how they're selecting their quality schools and just the full breadth of options that they have. We also believe that students should receive guidance and mentoring. That's huge because, as you know, as a young student, you're kind of lost and not really sure how to navigate that world. So a mentor is critical to that. We also believe that they should understand, the parents should understand how to hold the community and the schools accountable and be immersed in a college-going culture. So from UNCF standpoint, that's our manifesto, and it drives our advocacy work that we do here in the city.
That's powerful. I know you believe in it because every time we talk to
Yes.
you got it out there. Brian and Cassandra, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you all being with us. And we appreciate you all being with us too. We have more to come. We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back, and we've got Dr. Moore back.
I'm here.
Because in the first segment, Faith was over here.
Faith was, and they tell me Faith did an outstanding job.
She
man.
did.
That's
and
great.
you were on special assignment.
Special assignment, doing some work in the community.
Yeah.
Making sure that we get ready to put things in place for November.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
And we're joined by Bruce Kidd.
Yes, one of our friends. Bruce, good to see you again.
Pleasure to be here. Thank
Yeah,
you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And we were talking off air about the fact that you all are growing, Concerts for a Cause. So
Yeah.
tell us what that's about.
Yeah.
Kind of refresh people, and then there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who may not know.
Yeah.
And then talk about the growth over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we started in January of 2016 with our first show, and the mission for Concerts for a Cause is really pretty simple. It's we have a motto we use that I think says everything. And the motto is do all the good you can do in all the ways you can do it for as many people as you can do it as long as you can do it.
And you're doing that.
And that's what we're trying to
Yeah,
do.
you're
We're trying to
doing
live that motto. And we do that by hosting quarterly concerts that we have live entertainment, food and drink. It's a gathering. It's an evening out. And we take all the money from ticket sales and we donate it to a different not-for-profit at each of those events. So since January of 2016, we've hosted now 15 events and will donate a little over $200,000 to those 15 organizations over that 4 years now. We're getting ready to close our fourth year. So first year we had maybe 100 people at our events. It was all word of mouth, a small organization with no marketing budget. We just had to tell people and let them tell their friends. So the first year we had maybe 100 people at our events. This year we had over 400 at some of them, and actually sold the venue out, and it's been very gratifying. And
What are some of the nonprofits that were blessed by this?
Yeah, the very first one that we worked with in January of 2016 was the Indy Thunder. They're a beat baseball team for visually impaired. Darnell Booker is a friend, and I really like what he's doing with that organization. So they were the first. Since then, we've worked with Brooks Place, helps kids that are dealing with grief after a loss of a parent. Jameson Camp out on the west side that works with kids that have mental and physical disabilities, gives them a summer camp experience they'd never have on their own. Agape which is an organization that helps kids with neuromuscular disease.
Right, I'm familiar with that.
Uses horse equine training.
Right.
The one we have coming up, actually this Saturday is our last concert this year, is an organization called A Kid Again. And again, for kids that are battling cancer or other serious illness, it's a family endeavor, obviously. Everybody's involved in treating a child with cancer or other illness. So A Kid Again creates adventures for the families, lets them feel normal for a week, get away to a camp or get away to a Pacer game or whatever it might be, where the child and his or her family feel like they're together again and having some great memories, as opposed to dealing with the disease. It's a fantastic organization, very small and just been around a year, but they already have 140 families they're working with. So those are the kind of organizations. Our focus has been kids, adults, and families in need in the community, and all kinds of different challenges that we're trying to address for those organizations and their customers, if you will.
Long range, what do you see long range?
Boy, that's a great question. Since this is what I do on the side, I have a real job too. And as we were saying earlier, you do things that you're passionate about, and I'm passionate about this. I was raised in a family. I was very blessed to have a mother and father who were lifelong servant leaders. They cared about giving back more than what they got, and so that's just in my DNA. It's just that's what I know how to be, and so it's been a blessing to be able to do this and have some talented friends that have joined my board of directors to help us do it. So when we started in 2016, let me tell you, we were delighted to have 100 people show up and make small donations. Now that we're getting 300 and 400 people, and we're having some greater success, if you will, with bigger donations to more organizations. We already have next year planned. That's about as far out as I can look. But our 5th year, we have 4 concerts already planned for next year, and a 5th year anniversary celebration next October, which we think will be a pretty big event. And we're actually going to try. I've already talked to the owners of the Vogue in Broad Ripple, the music theater there, and they want to host it so we could have 1,000 people if we wanted. Yeah. So we'll see, but we're just going to keep doing what we're doing for the next year and helping some more organizations. And if the community and God tell me that we should be doing this longer, then we'll keep doing it.
I don't think he won't tell you not to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of need out there.
That's a lot of need out there,
There is.
and it's good to see that you're meeting some of those needs.
Thank you.
We talk about ministry, Pastor Jackson.
Yeah.
That's ministry at its best, almost.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? Somebody asked me the other day, why do you think people come? Because it's a concert, but it's also kind of a fundraiser. I mean, by design, we're trying to raise money for organizations that are doing great work in our community. And most of the people that come don't know the not-for-profit we're supporting because they're small. That's by design. That's who we're trying to help. So most people had not heard of Jameson Camp or Brooks Place when they came to the concert. And what we found, because I asked people that come to our events, are you coming for the music, the fellowship? Why is it you're coming? Are you coming because you're friends of ours? And really, it's sort of transitioned to where a lot of the reason people come now is because they love the idea of buying a ticket to an event where they're going to be entertained, but they know that money's going to someone, a child, that they've never met, that's going to improve their lives.
But it's been my experience. I think Brother Jackson and I, we do some work with a university here in town where we raise resources, and it's been my experience. If people know where those dollars are exactly going,
Correct.
they have no issue in giving them. They'll come and support the event.
No question.
And that's why you see the increase in numbers, because the results are so rewarding for people who attend.
Thank you. I think that's right. Yeah. So it's been gratifying that people enjoy coming and they feel like they're making a difference. Because you all know, you've been here a long time. This is a very compassionate community.
Right.
For a city our size, we have tremendous philanthropic resources, people that want to give time, talent, and treasure.
Right.
Yeah.
We have about a minute and a half left.
Yes.
The Little Red Door Summer Camp.
Yeah, that's our first one for next year in January. We do these January, April, July, October. and the summer camp for kids with cancer again. Little Red Door is going to be our first not-for-profit next year.
Congratulations.
And it's very exciting. They've got a great program, terrific people. They're excited. In fact, they're coming to our concert this Saturday on the 19th so that they can see firsthand what it's all about, so they can promote it to all of their supporters, and we can get a big crowd. And but it's a very worthy organization, and the other three we're supporting next year all equally worthy, and we're pleased and proud to help them.
Well, Bruce, the way things are going, you may have to do this full time.
We're going to pray you get an opportunity to do that.
I would do them every month if I could, because there's plenty of need in the community, and I think there's plenty of support. Just don't have enough time to do 12 of them, but we'll see. We'll see what's in store. But so far so good. We'll keep doing them for now the way we are.
We pray that God will keep His anointing on your life to do this,
thank you.
man.
Well, I've been blessed, so whatever comes from here is all good.
Thank you.
Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you all for being with us. We have the rundown next. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson, your host.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm Curtis Baker, the production manager here.
We were just talking about
Production manager. What am I? Today. Okay.
you're on the show today.
Yeah, okay.
We're just talking about Dr. Moore joining us. He was on special assignment.
Yeah, because there's been a big thing about Dr. Moore on special assignment, but nobody knew what the special assignment was. So now you can tell us.
My special assignment today was I was with Senator Jim Merritt, who's running for the mayor of Indianapolis, Marion County, and he's today he was on front. He introduced his chief of police, Mr. Benjamin. He wants him to be chief of police if he's elected. He also trying to define for the Afro-American community at this particular time the deserts in which the community is in, the economic desert, the food desert, childcare desert, all kind of deserts that are in the Afro-American community that have not been addressed. And so we're giving these two candidates the privilege to address the desert situation so they can turn them into oases if they can do that. And so we hope that that can be done with either candidate based on the choice of the community to make those things happen.
And the community is going to have to make that choice.
Yes, they are going to have to make that choice. And it's a great choice that has to be made because there are so many people in the community feel that they have become blighted only to build up the crown jewel, which is downtown Indianapolis.
And that's another show.
Yeah, it is.
We'll see you next time.